Good morning, class 8th. So this is your video for chemistry chapter number 2. The name of your chapter is physical and chemical changes. So before discussing about physical and chemical changes, let us first know what are the changes? How are changes classified? So you must have seen changes occur every movement around us. Okay, and these changes can be reversed, can be non-reversed, can be periodic, non-periodic. So today we will study about how these changes are classified. They are classified on some different basis. Okay, so first classification of the changes is reversible and irreversible changes. Reversible changes. A change is said to be reversible when the opposite change can be brought about by reversing the conditions. So you can notice what is a reversible change? When you can reverse it, when you can bring it to its original position, okay, original form. So we can take the example of the states of matter. Okay, so first one is if there is an ice, okay, and if you take the ice out of your refrigerator, it converts into water. If you heat that water, then it converts into vapors, okay, condensed vapors, if you will cover it with a lid. Now when they cool down, the vapors again convert into water, and when you keep that water again in the refrigerator, it turns into ice. Okay, so these are the changes in the state of matter that can be reversed. Solid can be changed into liquid, but it can be reversed back into the solid. Okay, so this is your reversible change. What is this? This is your reversible change, a change which can be brought about by reversing the conditions. Okay, now next one is your irreversible change. So irreversible change, what is irreversible change? When the opposite change cannot be brought about by reversing the conditions. If you reverse the conditions, then also the state cannot be changed. Okay, for example, if your milk is changed into cheese by boiling it with some lemon juice, you must have noticed at your home that your mother, when the milk is extra at your home, so they just add some lemon juice, and by boiling it they convert into cheese. Okay, so can that cheese or can that paneer be changed back into milk? No. Okay, if the sugar is heated and it swells and forms a brown substance, okay, can it you get back the sugar, white sugar? No. So these changes cannot be reversed back. Okay, they cannot be bring to their original form. So they are irreversible changes. So this was your reversible and irreversible changes. Now your next basis of classification is periodic and non-periodic changes. They are periodic and non-periodic changes. So periodic changes, what are periodic changes? These are those which take place at fixed intervals of time. Okay, you must have noticed a simple pendulum. Okay, this is a picture of a simple pendulum which is given in your book. So what does simple pendulum do? If you bring it to the last position, okay, and then you leave it, it will go to and fro, and then it will come back to its original position. Okay, if you shift it to the last position here, then it will go to and fro, and then it will bring back to the original position. So what is it doing? It is representing a periodic change because it takes place at fixed intervals of time. Understood? Okay, the next example is phases of moon. Okay, you must have noticed over a period of 28 days, what happens? The moon changes its phase from full moon gradually to a new moon. Okay, and then again the new moon changes to the full moon, and it happens across a period of 28 days. It is repeated over the next 28 days again. So this is taking place at the fixed interval of time. So this is your periodic change. If you are asked about the two examples of periodic change, First one is a simple pendulum and second one is change in the phase of moon. Okay, the next one is your the changes, they are not repeated at a fixed interval of time. Okay, so what are the examples? They are known as non-periodic changes: melting of ice, vaporization of water, curdling of milk, or cheering of sugar. They do not repeat themselves at the fixed intervals of time. Okay, so they are non-periodic changes. So if you are asked about the examples of non-periodic changes, they are melting of ice, vaporization of water, when you vaporize the water changes into water vapor form, then curdling of milk, when you change the milk into curd, or cheering of sugar. So these all are your non-periodic changes because they do not repeat themselves at fixed intervals of time. Now comes your another basis of classification, that is desirable and undesirable changes. So desirable and undesirable changes, what are those? The changes that are useful to us, they are known as desirable changes, and those which are harmful to us or which we do not want to happen, they are known as undesirable changes. So what are the examples of desirable and undesirable? Desirable: digestion of food, ripening of fruit, growth of living beings. Okay, and changes involved in cooking, these all are desirable changes because we want them to happen. We want our food to be digested, we want the ripening of fruit. Okay, we want the changes involved in cooking. Okay, and we want the growth of living beings. So these all are desirable changes because we want them to happen. Okay, but rusting of iron, does anyone want that the iron should rust and change into a brownish form? No. Spoiling of food, does anyone want the food should be spoiled? No. So these all are undesirable changes. Okay, the earthquakes, cyclones, volcanic eruptions, these all are undesirable changes that cause damage on a large scale, and none of us want them to happen. So these were your desirable and undesirable changes. After discussing all those changes, desirable, undesirable, periodic, non-periodic, reversible, irreversible, now comes the main basis of classification in the changes. They are physical and chemical changes. Okay, so they are of great interest and they are very important. So first let us discuss about only the physical changes. Okay, so a change in which no new substance is formed and which can be reversed by reversing the conditions, they are known as physical changes. You just have to remember these 2 points for physical changes. There is no new substance formed in physical change and the change can be reversed by reversing the conditions. For example, in this also you can take the example of states of matter. Okay, the solid is changed into liquid, liquid is changed into water, gaseous. But what is happening? Only the water is changing its form. The chemical formula is H2O. It will not change. Okay, so there is no new substances formed. Okay, and you can reverse the states of matter by reversing the conditions. So these are reversible. So only 2 conditions you have to mark it as important for physical changes. First one is your no new substances formed, and second one is they are reversible changes. Okay, so now we will discuss some examples of physical change. First one is your glowing of a heater or a bulb. So you must have noticed when you switch on the electric heater or when you switch on the bulb, then it starts glowing. Okay, but when you switch it off, the glow vanishes. So what are this? The change is reversible. You can reverse the change by switching the switch on or off, and there are no new substance formed. Okay, so glowing of heater or bulb is a physical change. Next example of your physical change is thermal expansion of a substance. So what happens in a thermal expansion of a substance? First, you should know the meaning of thermal expansion. Thermal is always related to heat, and expansion means when a thing or a substance, it increases in size, that is your expansion. So what is thermal expansion of a substance? When on heating, a substance expands. Okay, so on being heated, a substance expands, it increases in size, but as soon as it is cooled, it contracts and come back to its original position. So what is happening in thermal expansion? There is no new substance formed, okay, and you can reverse it. So this is a physical change. Now you should notice this highlighted part, okay. An inflated balloon often burst on its own at a birthday party. Okay, why does it happen? Because the air inside the balloon expands when the latter remains near a hot bulb for a while. Whenever you are inflating the balloon, okay, so what happens? The air inside the balloon, the air which is trapped inside the balloon, when it comes near the contact of a hot bulb, okay, it will burst because it is expanding. Okay, the air is expanding. Okay. Now the next example is changes in the state of matter, which is a physical change. We have just discussed. Okay, so what happens? Any change in a state of matter is reversible. You can change it into solid, liquid or gas. Okay, for example, melting of ice, you can reverse it by freezing the water. Vaporization of water, you can reverse it by condensation of vapor. Okay, so the chemical substances remaining same, H2O. Okay, so these substances, whenever there is a change in a state of matter, this is a physical change because there is no new substance formed and the change is reversible. Now next one is your sublimation. What is sublimation? You have studied it in grade 7. What is sublimation? In sublimation, a solid directly changes into gaseous state without passing the liquid state. So in sublimation, what occurs? A solid like ammonium chloride, naphthalene, camphor or iodine, they directly forms vapors without melting, and when they are cooled, the vapors also directly change into solid. So the change is reversible. We can change the solid state into vapors and again the vapors state into solid. So the change is reversible and there is no new substance formed. So sublimation is also a physical change. Okay, last example of your physical change is the dissolving of a substance in a liquid. Okay, you know, when we add sugar, salt, glucose, anything in water, it dissolves. So the substance that dissolves, the salt, sugar, glucose, the substance that we are dissolving in it, that is known as solute. Okay, and the liquid in which the solute is dissolved, that is called your solvent. Okay, and a solute dissolves in a solvent. When they are mixed together, they are forming a solution. So you should know the difference between solute, solvent and solution. Okay, the substance that you dissolve is solute, the substance in which you are dissolving is solvent, and the mixture of solute and solvent is solution. Okay, so solute can be obtained back from the solution by evaporating. Okay, if you are dissolving sugar in water and then you are boiling it or evaporating it, okay, the water evaporates, solvent evaporates, and you can get back the sugar. So that is your physical change because the substance can be reversed, the change can be reversed and there is no new substance formed. Okay, so that is your physical change. And why does it happen? You know, when we are dissolving in a liquid, na, a solid breaks up into molecules inside the liquid, and these molecules hide themselves in the intermolecular spaces. Okay, whenever you are dissolving the solute in the solvent, so what they are doing, they are taking up the space between the molecules like this, forming the solution. Okay, so the volume of a liquid does not change if something is dissolved in it. That is why there is no change in volume, there is no change in substance. So this is your physical change. So if anyone will ask you the 5 examples of physical changes, you can state them. The first one is the glowing of a heater or a bulb, thermal expansion of a substance, changes in the state of matter, sublimation, and the dissolving of a substance in a liquid. These all are your physical changes. So students, This was all for today's video. We have discussed it till physical changes. We have read about the changes, their classification, the different types of classification, and the last topic we have covered is physical changes. The next part of this physical change, the chemical change, and its types and its examples, we will discuss in the next video. Okay, so till then, revise this chapter till the physical change. Thank you.